How's it going, everyone? It's the Lego Detective, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Bakugan MAXUS DRAGONOID. So, recently I hit 1,000 subscribers, and I have a 1,000 subscribers special, or multiple 1,000 subscriber specials planned for pretty much all the things that I do on my channel. And here's the first 1,000 subscriber special. This is the Bakugan one, and I'm going to be reviewing the MAXUS DRAGONOID. I also have multiple Lego 1,000 subscriber specials, a Beat 'em On subscriber special, and a Beyblade subscriber special. So, yeah, definitely stay tuned. But today we're going to be taking a look at the MAXUS DRAGONOID. The MAXUS DRAGONOID was a special Dragonoid set. You could get it in, there's like a Japanese version of it, and then there's another like more worldwide version. This is actually the Japanese version of it. I got it in the big Bakugan lot. If you've seen some of my other Bakugan videos, you've most likely watched the epic Bakugan lot unboxing, which really got a lot of views, and thank you so much for any of you who have viewed that video. But this was in it. It was actually my least favorite part of that opening was these Bakugan. The reason for that was just because I actually have the American version of it. I think I disassembled it at some point, and some of the Bakugan traps are all separated from each other. But I had this all together, so I just decided I'm going to review it. This is the Japanese version. The North American and Canadian version, whatever, might be different. Obviously, the power levels are going to be a bit different, and I'm not sure if the traps are any different in terms of their effects and what attributes they can change your Bakugan to, but this was kind of interesting. It came with a special ability card that I believe it allowed you to use the MAXUS DRAGONOID, because you're not allowed to use more than 2 traps in a game, or 3 traps in a game, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, 6 traps and 1 Bakugan. I'm pretty sure that the ruling was that you could use just this one special Dragonoid right there, and then you could use all of these traps. I don't have that card because then, like I said, I did get this just in a Bakugan lot. But let's start taking a look at all the parts of the MAXUS DRAGONOID. So here is the base Dragonoid. I just consider this the MAXUS Neo Dragonoid. In terms of its look and appearance, and also when it's unfolded, it's very, very similar to a Neo Dragonoid. But as you can see, it has all these peg holes all over it, and also there's a little peg on the back. And those essentially allow it to connect to the other parts of the MAXUS Dragonoid. Without further ado, let's pop it open. And you'll notice something's a bit odd with this Bakugan. The wings right here are just loose. Now, this is where I would say that the Japanese Bakugan just falls short. And normally, with any other Bakugan, I will tell you that any Sega Toys Bakugan is better than a Spin Master one. But here's the Spin Master one. I told you that all the parts of the MAXUS DRAGONOID from Spin Master, they were all kind of separated, and I just had this in my Pyrus case. As you can see, there's actually some springs in the wings, and it looks really nice when you have it like this. And at first, I thought that with this one, maybe the guy that I bought it from in the lot, maybe the springs had just broken. But the way that the wing, the little clip that goes into the wing is shaped, it doesn't look like there's even room for a spring, as you can see when comparing. So that's kind of interesting. If any of you have the Sega Toys version of this Bakugan and the wings are all loose like this, please tell me. Maybe mine's just a defect. On the Spin Master one, it's 650 Gs, and I have, 500 Gs on the Sega Toys one, so that's kind of to be expected with Japanese Bakugan, but Japanese Bakugan are really cool. But this is the exception. But it doesn't even matter, because we're not even going to be using the wings part of this Bakugan in the MAXUS DRAGONOID combination. So let's start taking a look at all of our traps. So now we're going to get into all the traps that this Bakugan came with. And despite the fact that they are red, gold, and silver, they are not Pyrus. So these traps, this one's Aquos, this one is, I believe, Brachius or something, and this one is Graphium. I just looked up the names online. I'm not sure if I mix and match them, but they're essentially the same trap, just slightly different shaping and whatever. There are some pegs right there. Those are actually going to be used, or some peg holes, which are going to be used for the MAXUS Drago combination. But let's just pop both of these guys open. And there they are. So they are essentially the same mold. As you can see, Brachius here, or the Aquos one, he turns your Bakugan into Pyrus. So I actually quite like this set of MAXUS Dragonoid traps because you get one for pretty much all the elements. With the exception being Pyrus, I believe. Did we get a Pyrus one? Yeah, you don't get a Pyrus trap, but obviously you do get the Pyrus MAXUS Neo Dragonoid. So you get traps for pretty much every other attribute, which is actually pretty helpful if you don't have traps. And I'm pretty confident that this set is actually not too expensive. It might cost you somewhere between like $30 and $50. But yeah, I think that if you want to get some nice traps, then get this. I actually used one of the other ones, which you'll see next. It's the Dark Hound. I actually used that with my Darkest deck because it's a Darkest trap, and it has a few different attributes that you can change your Bakugan to. So, yeah, that's pretty much for the Aquos and Chaos traps. Let's move on to the Ventus and Darkest trap. So here we have the Darkest Dark Hound and the Subterra Gracchus Hound. I said that it was Ventus earlier, but that was just my mistake. It's Darkest and Subterra, and based off their names, you can kind of assume what they're going to be, and I really, really like these traps. They are dogs, like hounds, yeah, pretty much. So this one is the Dark Hound, and like I said, I like to use this with my Darkest deck because it turns your Bakugan into Chaos, and I have a few cards which have especially high attribute bonuses for Darkest and Chaos, so it's really, really helpful. And yeah, as you can see, the manual parts right there are just the legs, which fold out, and they really look great. And also this guy's horns, but they're kind of loose. They really look great, honestly. The Gracchus Hound actually has an opening mouth, which is pretty cool. That's really, really cool. These guys are definitely my favorite out of the traps. They really do look like animals or dogs when you compare them to these. I'm not even sure what this is supposed to be, but these are pretty cool. As you can see, the Darkest one turns your Bakugan into Chaos, and the Subterra one turns your Bakugan into Ventus. So there are two more traps. They're kind of unique. They aren't matching pairs, so let's start taking a look at them. So this 3D triangle here is Ventus Spit Arm. And this is actually my favorite of the traps in terms of appearance, because when you open it up, it's like a stingray. Look at that. He's got like the little eyes and the mandibles at the front, and he's got the big, wide and thin stingray kind of fins, and then the tail on the back. And ever since I was a little kid, stingrays have been some of my favorite animals, and this is actually really, really cool. I really like the design of this guy. And he turns your Bakugan into Subterra. So Ventus and Subterra fans, this is a pretty good Bakugan trap to have. So the last trap in this set is the Spider Fencer. And this guy is a bit interesting because the reason that he's upside down in the last few clips that I've shown in the beginning is because he's so loose that it just pops out. And again, I was a bit proven wrong. There is a Pyrus trap. So yeah, you actually get a trap of, it seems like, all of the elements, the attributes. So that's really nice. Yeah, this tail is just popping right out. So let's just open him up. And he, just like the Spit Arm, he looks really, really dope. I really like this guy. He's got these little claws, which are kind of annoying to get out, but you can kind of fold out his little claws right there. Some of them are really loose. And he turns your Bakugan from Pyrus to Aquos. So very, very nice. Apologies on the mistake earlier, but now that we've reviewed all the traps, I'm going to combine them for you. So we have all of our traps and our Dragonoid all unfolded, and I'm going to show you how to combine them into the MAXUS Dragonoid, and it is such a cool transformation. So we're just going to start off by clearing all of them out of the way except for Spit Arm here and the actual Dragonoid. So let's start out by taking Spit Arm. You're just going to fold this piece up. Or, wait, did that wrong. Fold in the wings first, and then fold this piece up, and then that'll lock it in. Fold in the face, and you have the option if you want to. I guess you could leave the tail in, but I actually like to leave it out because it looks like a Dragonoid tail. So, as you can see, we have a little peg right there. Just pull that out. Little peg right there. And you peg it in, and this essentially just becomes the Dragonoid's waist. So there's that. Just going to set that aside right there. Now we're going to take both of our hounds, Dark Hound and Gracchus Hound. Let's start out with the Dark Hound here. You're going to take the legs, and without folding them in, just fold them back. Now what that's going to do is it's actually just going to lock this piece in one place, and this is going to become the leg. So, yeah. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to take the head of the hound and push it through this little piece up here. And it just locks into place almost, as you can see. And these are going to become his feet, and then there are the toes. There's a little peg on the side, and that just unfolds. Now we're going to do the same with the other guy. So just fold the head through, push down the legs to lock it into place, and fold out the peg. Then you're going to go to the sides of the spit arm piece right there on those little holes, and those holes are actually pretty well disguised, but those are actually peg holes where you peg in these pieces, and now the MAXUS Dragonoid is walking on 2 feet, but we still need arms, so we're going to take these two guys over here, and it gets a bit tricky because you actually need to just twist this piece. It's a bit awkward the first time you do it, but it's pretty easy once you get it. You're just going to pull out these pins right there, and yeah, that's pretty much it for that guy. Same thing over here. Twist it around and pull out the pin. So, now we're going to go to the actual MAXUS Dragonoid. Fold in the wings. Peg in each of the arms to the side of the Dragonoid piece. Let's just fold out the horns right there. And as you can see, we have a pretty cool looking MAXUS Dragonoid, but there's still one more piece, Spider Fencer, and I really like this because it's as if you're adding a weapon to the Dragonoid. So you're going to start out by folding out all the claws. Make sure that the claws are all folded out. And then just fold in the head and fold the tail in. Pull out these 2 pins from either side and just hold that there. It's going to pop out, I know. Go to the arm. It doesn't really matter which arm, but just fold in the head of the smaller trap right there. You have those 2 peg holes, and then those will just correspond nicely with the pegs that you can find on the actual Bakugan trap here. And then we have our completed MAXUS Dragonoid. So let's just take kind of a 360 look of the MAXUS Dragonoid. He does kind of tower over a little bit, but he looks really great. I really like using that tail there. It really kind of establishes him as a giant dragon. And there was actually also a MAXUS Helios released, which rather than using a bunch of traps, you had a Helios Bakugan in the center and a bunch of other Bakugan around it, kind of just being used as the other parts, which I think is also pretty cool. It used pretty much the same gimmick where each Bakugan was a different attribute, and I don't have that. It's a pretty cool one. The MAXUS Helios is a bit more expensive than this one. I guess it was just a bit more uncommon and a bit harder to find. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The arms are a bit wobbly, but I guess you could kind of sort of pose them. You could just twist and kind of move it forward and move it back. And the legs, you can kind of move like this. However, it's definitely not going to stand on its own, but yeah, it's a really, really cool little build. This thing is actually kind of dusty. You might not be able to see it, but it's because it's been on my shelf just displayed like this. And this was used in the anime, the Bakugan show, to actually battle the MAXUS Helios. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the MAXUS Dragonoid. If you can find this for about $30, I would definitely recommend it. Remember, you're going to be getting a bunch of traps and then just the actual Bakugan. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces pretty much to this guy. So definitely look on eBay if you can find it. And you're new to Bakugan, you might not have some traps. This is a pretty good way to go, and it is kind of a collector's memorabilia because it is one of the big kind of Bakugan special sets which you would be able to buy with all of these Bakugan are. I'm pretty sure that all of them are exclusive to the set. I at least know for a fact that the paint jobs on these guys are definitely exclusive. And I'm pretty sure that the actual Bakugan and Bakugan traps are. But thanks for watching my review, everyone. This is the Lego Detective, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye!